PSG and Real Madrid fans, you need to be worried about the UEFA Champions League because you are at risk. Your club and your players are at risk of getting knocked out in the league phase, group phase in the first edition of this new format. And I'm going to tell you why in this video. It is scary times for both Real Madrid and PSG. The stature of these clubs. Okay, PSG, I get it. You know, oil money club. You know, if you're a serious football fan, you probably don't respect PSG or don't see them as a equal to your club. But for Real Madrid to get knocked out and not finish within the top 24 places, at least get to the playoff of this first edition of the new Champions League format, when they got Mbappe, when they brought Mbappe into their team, when they have supposed robbed of Ballon d'Or Vinicius Jr., would be an absolute embarrassment, a shit stain of a season for Real Madrid in their entire history, and I will be here laughing and enjoying it. But I will tell you why this is the case. Let's go. Let's start with Real. Let's start with the more serious club. Let's start with the club that this would really be, whoa, like this would really be a massive shock. Let's start with Real Madrid. Injuries. Injuries. Real Madrid is one of the reasons why I think you guys might need to be scared about a group stage exit in the Champions League. The injuries are insane. Today, Real Madrid, they played Osasuna. Cool, 4-0 win, Vinicius Jr. hat-trick, Bellingham goal. It's all good. Good performance. It's probably Real Madrid's best performance of the entire season. But in this game alone today against Osasuna, Militao, second ACL injury in 2 years. Last season he had one. This season he has another ACL injury. Carvajal is out with his ACL injury. Alaba, to be determined, but he's probably still out for the rest of this season. Rodrigo and Lucas Vasquez, both get injuries today in the Osasuna game as well. Both probably out for 3, most likely 4-5 weeks. And Tchouaméni with his sprained ankle also out another 4 or 5 weeks till mid-December of this year. This is scary. This is scary for Real Madrid because the squad is depleted. And the issue I have with Real, let's just start with the defense. Let's just talk about the injuries. First of all, let's look into the Real Madrid doctors because the amount of ACL injuries these Real Madrid guys have been getting the last 4 or 5 years is insane. Alaba, Courtois is back. Courtois had an ACL injury last season too, which is what kept him out the entire season until the Champions League final. We have to look into the Real Madrid doctors. For such a big club to have such crap doctors with such crap rehabilitation, it's kind of shocking. It's check yourselves, Real Madrid fans. Check yourselves. Ask the club questions. You know what I mean? But look at all these injuries. Key players. Now, luckily for them, not too many attacking injuries. Just Rodrigo, but that defense. Who's gonna play defense? Who's going to play defense? Rudiger. Yes, I understand Rudiger will start. He will still play. Rudiger never gets injured, right? But Rudiger has not been that good this season. Rudiger has not been playing at his best for Real Madrid this season. So you're going to have Rudiger, who has not been playing at his best, leading this back line. You have Ferland Mendy at left back. Who's going to play right center back? It can't be Tchouaméni for the next month and a half. It can't be Militao. He's out. It can't be Alaba. So you're going to bring a youth player to play right back in such a crucial part of the season for Real Madrid? Who's going to play right back? A youth player? Fran Garcia, who's actually a left back? Who is going to play in these positions? Real Madrid, it's not looking good with Tchouaméni out as well. You're losing someone in the midfield. Does Luka Modric have to keep starting? 30,000-year-old Luka Modric. It's looking scary for Real Madrid. The squad is looking depleted. And a lot of these players, key players in the defense, Alaba, Carvajal, Militao, are probably out the entire season. So Real Madrid fans, your defense is shockingly depleted. And you know what's the crazy part about it? And you know what? Let's get to the next slide. This is the big reason. So here's their league phase fixtures for Real Madrid fans. Here are your league phase fixtures. So you've played Dortmund, AC Milan, Stuttgart, and Lille. To be honest, Real Madrid's best performance out of all these was second half against Dortmund. They lost to AC Milan just this week at home 3-1. They lost to Lille away from home, and they beat Stuttgart in the opening game of the Champions League. And as Real Madrid fans, if you're an objective Real Madrid fan, you will remember that Stuttgart game was closer than the 3-1 suggests. Stuttgart could have scored 4 goals. So they've only had one half of impressive football in the Champions League with a fully fit team, basically. With basically a fully fit team, Real Madrid have already been unimpressive. So you're telling me with now 3 more key injuries to starting 11 players that Real Madrid in the next 4 games of the Champions League are looking comfortable, they'll bounce back, they'll get these wins easily? You're not going to get these wins easily because guess what? The next game for Real Madrid is Liverpool, away from home at Anfield. I know the meme, oh, Mo Salah getting his revenge on Real Madrid. He never gets it. Real Madrid keeps beating Liverpool the past couple of years. Mo Salah can never beat them. But I'm telling you now, Arne Slot in Liverpool, they're playing Aston Villa right now. If you hear my brother screaming, he's a Liverpool fan. They are beating Aston Villa right now. Liverpool at Anfield, I am counting that. I don't think they'll lose. I think Real Madrid will lose this game away from home. So all of a sudden, you're 5 games played, only 6 points. 5 games played, only 6 points. Then what's next? You have Atalanta. Atalanta, a team that is high scoring, high press. These guys will get after you. Against that weak defense, Atalanta away can 100% be a loss for Real Madrid. So after 6 games, in 6 games, I think Real Madrid can be on only 6 points. It is actually a possibility. So then you're looking at Salzburg at home, that has to be a win, and you're looking at Brest away. Brest, who's literally in the top 8 right now in the league phase after 4 games, they are actually playing good. They're not just going to pull up to Brest and beat them. They did the same thing to Lille, and look what happened. So Real Madrid fans, it's looking scary. And the key thing here about these league phase fixtures is right now after 4 games, the 24th place team. Actually, let me double check this on my phone right now. The 24th place team. How many points is the 24th place team on? Let's check. Stick with me right here. I have it up right now. PSV Eindhoven in 24th place is on 5 points after 4 games. If you assume, which is a fair assumption that, given all the games that are played, that the same rate of points being won ensues, after 8 games of this league phase, it is a decent estimate. I can infer that it will probably take at least 10 or 11 points to finish 24th or above in this league phase format. 10 to 11 points. Real Madrid is on 6. If they lose Liverpool, like I think they will, if they lose to Atlanta, like I think they will, they have to get 4 or 5 points from the Salzburg-Brest game. So they need to get either 2 wins or a win and a draw. Now, the Salzburg game at home, I think they could win that easily. They're at home. Salzburg is not that good. They're at the bottom. They haven't won yet, I think. It's that Brest game away. That's the scary one for me. If I'm a Real Madrid fan, it's that Brest and Atalanta games away, because I'm thinking the Real Madrid game against Liverpool at Anfield is a loss. I'm sorry. You guys are not playing good enough. Real Madrid is not playing good enough, especially in the Champions League, for them to convince me that they could go to Anfield and win. I don't think it's going to happen. This time Liverpool will get the win that they've been seeking after Real Madrid. And then you have 2 very dicey games against Atalanta and Brest with all these injuries. And don't forget, Ancelotti is getting outcoached in a lot of these Champions League games. Ancelotti is not good enough, in my opinion, anymore. And the issue with Ancelotti is he relies on so much individual talent. And right now, Mbappe isn't doing crap. Mbappe is in the worst form of his career. Yes, Vinny Jr. scored a hat-trick today, but he was awful against AC Milan midweek. He was awful. Bellingham scored today too, but Bellingham for all of 2024, from January to November, basically this whole entire year, Bellingham has been mid. I hate to say that about a young player, but he has been. He has not been as good as everyone remembers Jude Bellingham was at the beginning of last season, from August to December 2023. So Real Madrid fans, I'm thinking Liverpool is a loss. I genuinely believe Atalanta can beat you at their home. It's dicey. You would be on 6 points, and you would need those Salzburg and Brest results. And I'm telling you, dude, do not be surprised if Brest holds Real Madrid to a draw, or if they beat Real Madrid in France, because they went into the Lille game thinking it's going to be easy, and what happened? What happened? They lost, and they played horribly. It's not like they lost 1-0 and Real Madrid missed 10 opportunities. They lost 1-0 and Real Madrid creating nothing. They were nothing. They were trash. So Real Madrid, taking into account Mbappe being trash, All these injuries. Ancelotti, in my opinion, is not a good enough manager. He relies on so much individual quality. He's a good man manager, but he relies on too much individual quality right now. A 4-0 against Osasuna today is not going to convince me that all of a sudden Real Madrid's form is all of a sudden going to get better. It looks scary, Real Madrid fans. I would be scared. I would not, by any means, be sitting back comfortable thinking, oh, we're going to at least get the playoffs, and then we'll win the playoffs, and then we'll get to the round of 16. I would not be sitting back like this thinking that. That would be your biggest mistake. So, Real Madrid, stay humble and be careful. The other team I wanted to talk about, I think if someone asks me, oh, okay, Hokage, who do you think out of PSG and Real Madrid has a higher chance of at least getting into the top 24 playoff spots and not getting that automatic group stage exit, league phase exit, whatever you want to call it? I would say Real Madrid has a higher chance because PSG fans, I don't respect your club. Honestly, I really don't. It's such a failed organization. The whole Zlatan project failed. Actually, the Zlatan project didn't fail because the whole thing with Zlatan and Lavezzi and all those guys, Cavani, that came in, established dominance in France. They did that. The whole Neymar, Messi, Mbappe project, it just failed. It failed because no Champions Leagues were delivered, and they're just not looking good in the Champions League this year, and I can't take PSG seriously. I really can't. I can't. And I know PSG, they're playing today. I think they're playing right now against Anger, Angers, whatever you call them in France. But in the Champions League, yes, they're undefeated in Ligue 1, in the freaking McDonald's League. But in the Champions League, look it to the left of my screen and look at the games they have left. If I'm to bet who has a higher likelihood of getting knocked out in this league phase, it's 100% PSG. It is 100,000% Paris Saint-Germain. Because they got the win at home opening day against Girona. They tie at home to PSV Eindhoven. They lose at home last minute to Atleti just this past week, and they lost away to Arsenal. And they have not been performing well in the Champions League. And this is where it gets scary for PSG. This is where it gets really scary. Next is Bayern. I am sorry. I'm a Bayern fan. And maybe this will come back to bite me in my ass, and PSG could beat us in the Allianz, but I'm sorry. No. In my opinion, that away game to Bayern, it's an L. It's an L. I trust company in Bayern to get the job done against PSG on Thanksgiving week. So that's an L. So let's think about this. Against Bayern, L. So after 5 games, you would be on 4 points and still be outside the top 24. What's next after Bayern? What's next? It would be Manchester City after Bayern at home. Yes, Man City's playing bad right now. They just lost to Brighton. They're on a 4-game losing streak, but I guarantee you in January, Man City will be back to firing. They'll back to be scoring. Haaland, all this, De Bruyne, Foden. I guarantee you. So Man City at home, that's an L. I'm sorry, that's an L, PSG. So then after 6 games, you would be on 4 points. This is now where it gets tricky. Away from home to Salzburg. Now, yes, Salzburg is one of the worst teams in the Champions League this year. They are. They haven't won yet. But an away game can always be tricky, can always cause a surprise. So I think PSG can go into the last 2 games. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I got it wrong. They play Bayern, then they play Salzburg away. So they play Bayern and Salzburg away, back to back. Then they play City at home, then they play Stuttgart. So all right, that doesn't change anything though, because I think they'll still lose to Bayern. Say they beat Salzburg. I think they'll beat. Let's give them the win against Salzburg. PSG fans, I'll give you a win against Salzburg. So after 6 games, you would be on what? 7 points. And in my opinion, from what I see in the league table so far, after 4 games, 50% of the league phase games, you will probably need 10 to 11 to 12 points to finish within that top 24 if teams continue to get the points at the rate they're doing. Dude, you are probably going to need a win and a draw against Manchester City and Stuttgart. Now, okay, that doesn't seem too bad, PSG fans, right? You beat Salzburg. Okay, let's just take the L to City, and then we'll go away to Stuttgart in the last game of the Champions League. We'll go away and we'll beat them in Germany away from home. But ask Real Madrid fans, ask Juventus fans, PSG. This Stuttgart team can 1,000. I'm telling you, this Stuttgart team, coached by Sebastian Hoeneß, can 1,000% beat PSG when they're at home, especially. So, PSG, I am looking at 4 games left, and personally, seeing how Stuttgart played against Real Madrid, how they could have, should have scored 3 or 4 more goals than they did, seeing how they destroyed Juventus, dude, I am honestly, without, my hate to PSG aside, my disrespect to the club aside, I genuinely can see how PSG lose 3 of the last 4 games in the Champions League, getting that win at Salzburg, finishing on 7 points, and not finishing within the top 24 places in the Champions League phase format out of 36 teams. That would be the end of PSG. Dissolve the club. And it is absolutely possible. And PSG fans, I think Real Madrid fans think they're going to be comfortable, which is this video is probably more of a warning to Real Madrid fans because I feel like they have this arrogance in the Champions League. They think it's all going to be okay. We're all going to come back when it really isn't. The injuries and the fixtures aren't going to be easy. And I think PSG fans if you're a PSG fan, you're probably panicking more and you understand what I'm saying. And you understand how this is a real possibility. Now, I will give PSG a slight benefit of the doubt. They got probably the hardest fixture schedule out of all the teams in the 36 game. Out of all 36 teams, PSG probably got these toughest 8 games. Arsenal away, Bayern away, Stuttgart away. At home playing, and your home games are to Atleti and Man City. It was always going to be tough for PSG. I just didn't think they'd be this underwhelming. It's just the thing that really made me lose hope is that loss at home this past week to Atleti and the way they lost last second, and the players just looked deflated. They looked defeated. And for PSG, I just really think a league phase exit is probably going to happen. And for Real Madrid fans, I wouldn't be too comfortable. I wouldn't act as if you guys are going to make it to the round of 16 because it's really not looking good for you guys either. And you might say, oh, Kage, how about Bayern? They're only on 6 points after 4 games. But look at Bayern's fixtures. After PSG, they have 3 games that they should absolutely 100% win. That's 9 points. And I think I'm very confident we beat PSG. So I'm looking at Bayern and I'm hoping and I'm confident they get at least 10 to 12 points in their last 4 games. I don't have that same confidence for PSG. I don't have that same confidence for Real Madrid. So, PSG and Real Madrid fans, be worried about the Champions League. A group stage league phase exit is 100% on the cards for both clubs. Stay humble, stay respectful, stay worried, move in silence. Move in silence. It's your boy, Kage Puya. Let me know if you agree. Like the video, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.